Hello everyone. Well, I've put my final decoration on the Christmas tree. I've donned a silly Christmas jumper and it's time to open another vacuum cleaner. And today I'm going to pray for a Christmas miracle, because the way that this vacuum cleaner has been sent to me through the post, I'd be very surprised if some of it or all of it isn't smashed to pieces, but fingers crossed. This Electrolux 550 that I'm about to unbox has arrived with no damage. I'm wondering if the previous owners of this Electrolux 550 have replaced it with a Henry, because we have a Henry HVR 200 box here. It is an older Henry box, so they may have had it a while. Yes, I can't see the wattage of this Henry, but anyway, it's not a very old Henry, but it is a Henry. So that's the lower half, and then the only thing protecting the fragile top half of this vacuum is this. So this is what was handed to me. I've sold quite a few vacuum cleaners recently, and I hope everyone who bought one of my vacuum cleaners will have received it in one piece. I've not had any complaints so far. I pack my stuff very well, unlike this person. So, let's see. Oh dear, right. Now I was organised today, folks, for once, and I did get out my box cutter, which I can see it's miles away, so I'll just go and fetch it, and we'll cut through this and have a look at what's inside. Okie dokie, let's just cut away at the tape. Come on, nearly there. There's always one piece that doesn't want to be cut. Right. Right, well, it's wrapped in a bit of bubble wrap as well, which I'll carefully remove. Or shall we? I'll remove the box first, actually. I have a toy version of this somewhere. I did a last Christmas. A lot of you didn't see it, which is one reason I haven't done Advent videos this year. But last year I did 24 toy vacuum cleaners. There should be a playlist on my channel if you care to look. And one of those toy vacuum cleaners, I think, was yes, it was Electrolux 550, I believe. Right. Deary me, absolutely no protection inside this box. You can see here, look, nothing, just a little bit of bubble wrap around the top, so, oh dear. Out it comes. I have to say, this looks far dirtier than the picture on eBay. I didn't pay a lot. This was listed a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. I didn't bother or forgot to bid, and I thought I'll get it because it helps sort of fill a gap in my collection, because I've got the 560 and the 506, but the 550 is the model below the more deluxe 560 with the electronic control, and it was, I think it was £30. So not too much. Now, I have to be a bit careful with my box cutter that I don't cut into the wire or the plastic. I'm going to give this a bit of a wipe over before I show you it, because it is absolutely quite filthy. So far I haven't seen any damage. The most vulnerable part I found on these cleaners is the hinge area at the back, and where the lower cord hook and carry handle is. So here, nearly there, folks. Right, we finally, and oh, I think they've strengthened it in this later version. certainly this is an addition. My 502, 504, and I think even my 506 doesn't have this extra sort of strengthening, so they must have had a problem with the handles breaking when these machines, you know, were production models, and they've added a little bit of a strengthener, which is why it does feel somehow a little bit more solid. And now I'm looking at it, so far, apart from it being quite dirty, it seems to have arrived intact. So yeah, so far so good. As this cleaner is quite dirty, I've put down an offcut of my living room carpet, so if that gets dirty it won't matter. Just going to do the old very quick brief wipe. Oh yeah, it is far worse, and I think it's probably a little bit discoloured. As I've said in earlier videos, even coloured vacuum cleaners can suffer from the old yellowing. Obviously it's more noticeable in a white coloured vacuum than it is in a vacuum that's already got a colour, but this is definitely, I don't think, the same colour as it would have been when it was fresh out of the box. Just going to do sort of half of it because even a quick rub down can improve things. I mean, wouldn't have hurt the seller to have given this a bit of a rub down. And what's the betting, folks, that this has got a bag full of dirt in it? We'll soon find out, won't we? I've got new bags, filters, belts and brushes that fit this machine. You can fit a SIBO bag to these as well without any modification if you want to increase the filtration. There are a few deep-ish grooves in this where it's worn against furniture, but you expect that on these machines. So that's half. Oh, look at that, bit of a difference. It's so satisfying when you get an old vacuum cleaner or anything that's old and dirty and you start cleaning it and you see, look at that, fantastic. And if I was to polish and T-cut this side as well, but even just a little wet wipe like this is getting off the surface dirt. And this is what I always do first before starting with any other T-cut. T-cut comes second, and then a final polish or two layers of polish is normally enough. The bag compartment doesn't look too bad. In fact, it looks quite shiny with the lights. But I'll just do this side of the bag compartment. It will improve. Most of the surface dirt is coming off with these surface wipes. There are odd marks that won't be easily removed, but the T-cut normally sorts those out. That does look a bit better to me. Do that middle stripe design, that's quite attractive. That little bit of a design feature in the middle of the bag compartment. Here's the top of the bag compartment, the bag door. It's really satisfying actually, especially satisfying when you clean a vacuum cleaner up and it looks almost new. And in the case of this part of the cleaner, obviously the top of the bag door doesn't get any wear and tear as such, not like the base of the machine that gets knocked into furniture. So often a quick wipe of these parts reveals what the cleaner must have looked like when it was fresh out of the box. Onto the back of the cleaner now. I'm just cleaning half for this, but when I pause the camera I'll finish the other half off. But it's just to give you a quick contrast of what is possible. Quite a lot of dirt on the handle release pedal there. But everything so far, fingers crossed, seems to have survived. I've just gone a bit further over. A bit disappointing that the maximum and minimum printing on the suction control is a bit worn off. But never mind. As long as the rest of the cleaner is intact, as long as it's working fine. Here at the back we've got the exhaust vent. Give that a wipe. And yes, this is, as I said, this was the weak point of the Electrolux 500 series, but that just feels a lot more solid. So it's nice to know that certainly back in the day manufacturers did respond to problems with their machines. If that was still in production, they would fix the problem. If they, if they noticed quite a few complaints coming through that handles were cracking or snapping, they would go back and modify the part that was at fault. And some manufacturers even did that before the machine was launched. I've seen a video on YouTube about the design of the Hoover Vortex bagless upright, and there was a problem with the handle splitting or cracking when they were doing tests, so that handle was modified before the cleaner went into production. But of course some problems only appear after the machine has gone into people's homes and has been used for a bit. There we go, I think that'll do. Well, judging from my first initial wipe over half of this Electrolux 550, I think this old girl is going to clean up very well. Okay, well, I'm just going to remove the rest of the initial dirt, give it a quick polish, and then we'll have a closer look at this vacuum cleaner and hope that it actually works when I plug it in. Okie dokie, so I've given this Electrolux 550 a brief clean and polish, 20 minutes worth of work, I'd say. And well, considering what it looked like when I unboxed this cleaner, I think it is looking very good indeed. It does need a more detailed clean, but you can see the shine on it just from a little bit of work. So if the original seller had decided just to wipe it down a bit and put a bit of furniture polish on, perhaps they may have got more bids than just the initial starting bid. So I can tell you now that I think the motor may be shot. I don't know. I did wipe down the bottom of this briefly just so it wouldn't mark my carpet when I give it an initial go, but when I moved the agitator it did sound very rough. I do have at least one new Electrolux 500 series motor that I've been saving. I've purchased quite a few 500 series vacuum cleaners and have not needed to use that motor, but I might have to for this, because Electrolux 500 series motors, you can't really take them completely apart and service them like you can with some of the older Hoover cleaners. I haven't bothered with the mains cable yet, but cream cleaner, damp cloth, rub rub rub. You can polish that up if you want to. It does have a age appropriate plug on it, a WG brand. That needs cleaning up, but it is, I would say that's the plug that was put on by the original owners. It's an older plug because it doesn't have the insulated live and neutral pins. Okay, well, I'm going to switch the machine on at the switch, put it to one side, and then plug in and see if that motor is as rough as I think it might be. Okay folks, no beating about the bush, I'm just going to turn it on now. Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. That does sound rough and quite vibratory, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think this machine, because I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks, this could be the one that's getting the new motor, perhaps. Now, some of that noise could be the bearings on the brush roll, so I'm going to try this machine with the belt off. We'll have a look actually underneath while I'm here. Not as smooth as it should sound. This one, you can see it's got the beta bars. Now, I don't know if they've done this. It feels rough. When I was moving this, I don't know if you can hear. It feels a bit rough to me. And then the rough sound is coming from the motor rather than the bearings. It's got the beta bars, but I think this would have had beta bars either side. I used to do this. I used to interchange them. But I think when this was new, it would have had a beta bar there. And this would have been all brushes. I do have some new brushes, which it might need. But they've got the beta bar that side. So it sort of beats as it sweeps, as it cleans. But yeah, that's a bit rough, isn't it, folks? Bit clogged up as well in there. I haven't actually opened the bag properly to have a look. Ugh. Well, at least the sponge donut hasn't perished. It needs a clean, obviously. And we have a non-genuine bag. Without the red slide that would have been on this. This has been stapled. I see that a lot. They lose the slide. What happens when these were new? Or perhaps someone unfamiliar with the machine would change the bag and not realise that they need to take off the slide. The later bags you can buy for these, you can still buy bags for them, but they're non-reusable. But of course the original ones you had to fold over the bag 3 times and then slide on a red clip. So I do have one of those. So somebody obviously discarded the clip with the rubbish. So that's why that's like that. And we can see it is quite dirty, this one inside. We've got 2 filters. I'll get my Christmas jumper all dusty. That needs a wash or a replacement. And then just under there, just about C, is the fixed filter, which is pretty dirty, and I can see cigarette ends and all sorts in there. So that's not going to help the motor, but I don't think it's a case of just cleaning the filters and popping a new bag in. I think it's a little bit more serious than that. Oh dear me. Never mind, I don't mind breathing in dust and dirt. I've been doing it all my life. It's never caused me any harm. There we go. I don't know if this bag whistle will work. I've never been able to replicate them working. Hang on, let's try. I think I've only ever heard the bag whistle working on my mum's Electrolux 502 she bought in the 80s from brand new, and it normally used to make the tone. I can't remember if it was at 0 or 1, but it wasn't a whistle, it was more of a lower pitched tone than a high pitched whistle. So that's what that's for. That just adjusts the 0 to 4 adjusts the sensitivity of the indicator. So it's supposed to, I can't remember if it's more sensitive on 1 or 0. Just on the side of the cleaner head here, we've got the 2-position control. So with the lever towards the back of the machine, that's more suitable for high pile carpets. And with the lever pushed forward, that's for your lower pile carpeting. And of course, I showed you earlier, we've got the suction control on the back here. Maximum, medium, that will be minimum, just opens the vent. And of course, this is where you plug the optional toolkit into. Okay, I'll give it a bit of a push, see what happens. Well, that's better than I thought. Of course, this cleaner will benefit from clean filters, new bag and a new belt, but it's definitely the motor where we've got the problem. You can hear on the wind down that it's not quite as smooth as it should be, and I don't know why I'm standing so close, because this cleaner will have the suppressor. I'm not sure where it is on this model. A lot of them are in the handle. Some of the early models had the motor suppressor, radio and TV interference suppressor somewhere in the base of the machine. Having it in the handle makes it even a bit more your hand is right on it if it blows. But that's it. I'm pretty pleased with this for 30 quid. Pretty pleased. You can see, look, shined up well in just 20 minutes or less. It does need a proper looking at, obviously, and one day when I'm a bit more sorted, I will start getting these cleaners out that I've just given a brief wipe down during the video and strip them down completely, and hopefully make videos of them, but that will have to wait till maybe the second half of next year when I start doing that, because I've got a lot to sort out between now and then. Well, that's about the end of today's video. Thank you for staying to the bitter end, and for those people that actually watch the full videos I put out, I've got a little bonus for you. I know many people don't watch the full video. They watch for a couple of minutes and then switch off and think, oh, I can't be doing with this. But so for you that do actually stay to the end, I've got a bonus. So I'm doing some shout out videos for Christmas, and I'll do the shout outs for the younger viewers, and that's going to be arranged on Facebook. But for you older viewers, you can ask me a question. So if you've got a vacuum cleaner related question, vacuum cleaner or floor care related question, ask below this video only, and you'll get your question answered in a future video just before Christmas. You'll get your name mentioned, and if you've got a little picture on your YouTube channel, little icon, then I'll put that up alongside the question. So get your questions in now, only below this video. Don't ask them anywhere else if you want them answered on video. I've tried and answer other questions, of course, that you put under other videos. Can't answer them all. But if you want a specific vacuum or floor care related question answered on video, where I say hello to you, mention your name, it's under this video, you need to ask the question. Okay, well, that's everything. Don't think there's anything else I can say, so get your questions in. I can't guarantee that I will answer everyone, and some questions, if I deem them unsuitable, or if they're rude in any way or too personal, I won't answer them. So it's got to be related to vacuum cleaners, and I would appreciate if you could check the other questions. So before you ask your question, just check under the video comments and see if it's already been answered, because I do get the same question asked constantly, and that tends to be, what's your favorite vacuum? That's the top one. So I will allow that one question by one person, but if you ask that I won't answer it if I've already answered it, if you get my drift. So try and make the questions a little bit more imaginative, and I will do my best to answer them in a video coming up before Christmas. Can't say when, but it'll certainly be before Christmas Day. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a loyal vacuum cleaner fan, because you're watching this now. And I'll see you all very soon for another video. Bye for now.